You are tuned in to Kids
In the Pit.
Hey guys, it's Gabe from the Kids in the Pit podcast. Today I'm joined by Brandon from the band Magnets for Maniacs. Hey Brandon, thanks for joining me. Mind if I ask you about your band and stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, so what do you do in Magnets for Maniacs?
So I play bass, and I also do backup vocals. So we're pretty dynamic. We do singing, screaming, things of that nature. So I do a lot of the singing, and I play bass for the band.
Nice. So how long has Magnets for Maniacs been a band?
So we've been a band. This idea started actually when myself and my singer Jay were in high school, and we just had this idea that we wanted to be in a band, but we don't consider our actual start date until around 2019 when we met our drummer Justin. We kind of consider that the mark for when the band started. So I guess 2019 is your answer.
Nice. So where did your band start, and do you all still live there?
Yeah, we are. Our drummer is a little farther up. We're all from Connecticut. We say we're from New Haven County. We're all within, an hour of each other. But yeah, we're all still living in Connecticut, and it's good because it allows us to be close and practice in person a lot and stay tight with each other. So
Cool. So for those first checking out Magnets for Maniacs, what song should they look up?
So depending on when you're watching this, right now it's March 31st, 2023. So the song that we have out now that I would say to check out is definitely To Whom It May Concern. We have a lyric video that's up for that on YouTube. But if you're watching this, and then after the next 10 or 11 days, on April 11th, we actually have a single coming out called 872 that we've put a ton of work into, and it's got a music video along with it. So if you're watching after April 11th, I would say definitely check out the new single. It's we put a lot of work into it, and we're super proud of it. So
Okay, I'll check it out after April 11th. So what was the first punk, metal, or hardcore show you attended, and how old were you?
so I want to say I was in middle school, so I want to say I was maybe 11, 12, 13, around there. And I actually went to go see 3 Days Grace, which was one of my favorite bands back then. Was my first show that I went to. And it was still when Adam was singing for them. And it was very, very shortly before he left the band. So I got to see one of the last shows that Adam played with them. So I'm really glad I got to do that. And that was kind of my kickoff show into the world of metal and punk and hard rock.
Cool. Yeah, I've never heard of them. I'll check them out, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
So what are some of your favorite bands of all time? And what are some bands you suggest people go see live?
So it depends if we're talking like metal and stuff like that. I was brought up because of my dad on a lot of 60s music. So I love the Doors. I love Simon and Garfunkel. I love, some of these artists that really don't have anything to do with metal. But when it comes to metal, Lamb of God is one of my favorite bands. I love Gojira. If you're talking rock, I love Tool. And if you're talking about bands to see live, some of the bands that have impressed me the most would be the way Chelsea Grin performs, the way Attila performs. These bands that are these like high energy, like in your face bands live. And that's kind of what we look to do all the time. I mean, we are always trying to give the best performances we possibly can and be entertainers. So any band that can really entertain me live, which those two did, I would definitely suggest people go see.
Cool. So where's your favorite show your band has played? And have you played in another country yet?
So we played, my favorite show was we opened up for Suffocation. And it was a combination of the energy that was in the room and how many people were there. It was absolute packed house. It was the last show of their tour. And it was just like an electric environment is like the way I would describe it. And I've been chasing that feeling ever since we played the show, just because it was so awesome. We had such a good time. The bands were super cool, and everyone was really receptive to us, which is always great. If you're making your own music.
Yeah.
And then what was your other question you had said?
Have you played in another country?
Oh, yeah. We have not. I know all my guys would love to. I think that right now we're focused on really growing our fan base within, North America and kind of going from there. So I would love to someday. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll happen someday. And like Canada's not that far, so
Oh, nope.
similar to the US. So who knows? You might be on a tour and one of the dates is in Canada.
Yeah, yeah,
So
for sure. And some of these I mean, there's different demand for obviously metal is a very niche genre. And so there's a lot of demand in some other countries. I know Japan is huge on their metal scene and
yeah.
England has, a lot of demand over there too. So I'd be open to anything at the end of the day.
Yeah, and Norway and like Sweden and
Yeah,
Finland. I love black metal.
those
It's
guys are
like
crazy.
it's like our like pop and like hip
Yeah,
hop and stuff.
they know how to do
There.
it up there.
Huh? I want to
So
move there.
yeah.
So do you have a hobby besides music?
Um, yeah, so I'm really into like health and fitness and I really enjoy going to the gym and weightlifting and things like that and just taking care of myself. I think is super important to me. But other than that, I mean, the thing that really like no matter what I do in my life, it's in my personality to like grow a business out of what I'm doing. And so the band is, like that for me, where it's something that we started together and I'm trying to grow it as much as I can. And so just other aspects of my life, like I love, making businesses and growing them and being that like entrepreneur, type. That's just how I am. And so I guess it's not really a hobby. I guess it's just kind of how I approach everything. But that definitely comes into play in a lot of aspects of my life, all my hobbies.
Cool. That's awesome. Pretty much how like my business is selling Kids in the Pit merch at shows. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy. Like people like shirts. Anyone watching that has bought merch, thank you so much. I made like $60 last night. It was pretty cool.
See, I love that. Like that gets me fired up. That's a lot of the reason why like we wanted to come and do this is because like I see it and I respect it so much, that you're doing what you're doing at your age and it's just awesome to me. So, keep doing what you're doing.
Thanks. So, what is your favorite food?
Oh man, it's the hardest question yet. I would say that it's kind of a toss up for me. I mean, I'm never gonna turn down like a nice like ribeye steak is definitely on the top of the list. But I love sushi, and I'm Italian, and so if you give me some home cooked Italian meal, I'm never gonna say no to it. So those are probably my top three, but I'd have to say steak is probably at the top.
Yeah, I'm also Italian. So,
Yeah.
what was your favorite movie when you were my age?
So and I'm still like this to this day. Like I don't really watch a lot of movies, but I will tell you what one of my sounds a little weird, but one of my least favorite movies at your age is there's an old, I mean it's older now. It's called Ants. I don't know if you've heard of it or if you've ever seen it.
I
Um,
have.
it's a little bit older. It's like a cartoon movie, and there was a time when I was like really sick, and I remember that one of the adults that was in my life kind of like made me they're like go watch this movie and I did and now whenever I see or hear about that movie I just think back to the time that I was really sick and so I just
Oh,
don't like that movie anymore.
nice.
But as far as movies like I really even now don't watch a lot. So
So I'll keep that in mind. Don't watch movies when you're sick,
don't
or
watch Ants.
it'll ruin the movie for you.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. So, what would you do to survive a zombie apocalypse, and how long do you think you'd survive?
Well, from my knowledge of watching The Walking Dead, I've learned that there's two things. One is like the higher up you can get, the better you are, and
Yeah.
then two is like you need food. So I feel like if you're not going like rooftop, because the zombies hardly ever get up there. Then you've got to go somewhere that's got like a lot of security and food, like like a prison or a jail or something, because it's great at keeping people in. It's also great at keeping people out. So you could
Yeah.
probably do that and that's survive off of the food that's in there.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
or I'm just able to run faster than the other guys in my band. That would.
Okay. So if I'm in a zombie apocalypse, I have to commit a crime, just not too bad that I'll get the death penalty. I just have to go to jail.
Yeah.
Well, I'm fed. Uh, the zombies can't unless there's like a well, yeah, the zombies won't be able to get in, and I could
Yep.
well, maybe if they eat
Oh,
the
you would
guards or
do?
something. Well, no, the guards have keys, and they wouldn't really be able to get through the gates. So I
That's what you
think,
would do too?
yeah, I think I'd just be there, and the guards just would be dead, and they would have the keys. So the way I'd get out is I just wait for it to end. Wait, no, then I'd die because they wouldn't feed me.
Oh, we'd probably survive the longest anyway. I don't think
Yeah,
anyone else
yeah,
thought of that.
yeah. So, if you could tell your 11-year-old self anything at all, what would you tell him?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think that like now is the time in your life. If it was me looking back, I would be like, this is the time for you to like explore your passions and find out what makes you happy and what you want to do and not to take it for granted, because the older you get, the more responsibilities you have, and the more I think life starts to like, pass you by a little bit. So now it's like you got to just focus on having fun and doing what you enjoy doing, and just don't take it for granted.
Yep. Okay. Well, anything to add before you wrap it up?
I mean, I would just say that, first of all, thank you for doing this. This is super awesome. I really enjoyed like, having this conversation, this dialogue with you. And like I said, I
Yeah.
just respect what you're doing a lot at your age and just to keep it up. But other than that, we do have the single I mentioned, 872, that's going to be coming out on April 11th. And then, shortly after that, we're looking into the next month. We actually have a full album that's going to be coming out, and we've put blood, sweat, and tears into it. And it's been a process, and we're super proud of it. So we can't wait to share it with everyone and gauge people's reactions, and we'll go from there. So, and all of our social medias, Magnets for Maniacs on everything: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all that stuff. So,
Okay. Cool. Well, do you have any shows for the new?
yeah, so we have some stuff that's in the works right now that I don't have official dates on, so I can't really, give you dates, but we are looking at doing kind of a Northeast run. If it doesn't happen immediately after the album release, it'll happen soon. And we'll
Okay.
we'll be going from there.
So, everyone, look once if you see any Magnets for Maniacs tour dates, make sure to go to the show if you want, if it's in your area.
We'd love to have everyone there. It's super
Yep.
awesome.
So, well, thanks to Brandon for joining me today, and thanks to all of you for watching or listening. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel or follow me on Spotify and other streaming platforms. Until next week, bye.
Okay, stop.